As I wrote about the way my father made me feel when I was a child, I recognized that as a parent, I was repeating a negative pattern. When I was a boy, I swore that I would be different. Yet, if I am honest, I, too, can be quick to anger, or careless with the sort of cutting remarks that I remember being hurt by as a kid. My father learned those behaviors in the residential school and modeled them as he raised me. The way I raise you will determine whether or not our family breaks that legacy of anger and hurt. I'm working to be a more patient, compassionate, and affectionate dad. It is not always easy. In fact, parenting is the hardest thing I have ever had to do. Yet when I gaze at your sweet faces, I know that you are worth it. I pray you know that you can achieve anything, and that you grow up to become kind and loving parents. If you do that, then we will have defeated colonization, at least in the only way that our family can. I love you, I value you, and yes, I would die for you. But I would much rather live for you. I hope that you share this story with other young people, especially with young sisters, who are too often the victims of violence, and with those who are too spirited, who too often feel ashamed of who they are. Tell them that you love them, that you value them, and that you will live a good life for them. My mom, your cuckoo, has always embodied this spirit. I guess the rest of us might be starting to come around. I have entered public life since writing this book. During the campaign in which I was elected as a provincial politician in Manitoba, I had to face the bad things I had done in the past, many of which are described in this book. As an Indigenous person participating in the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, I was used to being the one who was mistreated, who experienced racism, who had been damaged by colonization. Yet during that political storm, I was reminded that I have also been a person who has done harm. I sought out some of those who had been affected by my words, and I sat with them to listen so that I could better understand their feelings. During some of these moments, I could not help but remember Archbishop James Weisgerber and how he must have felt in some of the passages contained in this book. He worked to build a relationship, even if it meant he was put into difficult situations. I believe that I have a better understanding now for how others feel on this journey of reconciliation. Part of the reason I was able to overcome that controversy and be elected was due to the transformation I have undergone as a person, one that stressed honesty, integrity, and good conduct. I had to learn to tell the truth before I could move towards reconciliation. This personal growth was made possible mainly by my bearing witness to your Detanun's journey. If life is a ceremony, then his was conducted in a good way. We mark the end of our ceremonies by singing the traveling song. The words to this ancient hymn are Ningosha, Anisha, Wenje Pamoseyen, words that name this book. They are a message from the Creator. Growing up, I was taught how to translate the words to that song, The Reason You Walk. This book is the story of how I learned what those words really mean. Hijawayinim. I love you guys. Wab Kinew, December 2016. Ningosha Anisha Wenje Pamoseyen. I am the reason you walk. Anishinaabe traveling song. Prologue. If you were to enter the center of the Sundance circle, then you would understand the beauty of what happens there. The shake of the cottonwood trees in the breeze, the swing and sway of prayer flags of every color tied to the branches, the chorus of cicadas singing a perfect soundtrack for the sweltering heat, the feeling of hundreds of supporters standing on the edge of the circle, watching you. The hot sand was starting to burn my feet. The sun's radiance had burrowed deep into my skin, turning it a dark carmine brown. My dried sweat left a thin layer of salt on my body. I could taste it as I licked my lips. We had been dancing and fasting in this circle since long before dawn. Chiefs and headmen formed a procession and walked to the south.